2018 brings big upgrades to the tiny Fit. There is new styling, more standard equipment, new safety features, and even a new sport trim, which we have today. What they didn't mess with was its ideal combination of affordability, reliability, and practicality. And let's not forget about some of the best packaging in the industry. Of course, like always, this review will not just be on this sport, but instead of the entire Fit lineup. So let's go ahead and see if the Fit's formula has been improved on. We would like to specially thank Gates Honda for allowing us to come out and film this review. If you would like to find out more information about their dealership and large inventory of Hondas, then check the video description for both their physical and web addresses. The new Sport fits in between the base LX and the mid-level EX, but it adds a few features that aren't available on any of the other trims. On the LX and Sport, you get this regular key, still with keyless entry on the back. EX and above will get a nicer smart entry fob instead, a nice feature for a subcompact. As always, we'll start by popping the hood. The Fit keeps it simple when it comes to powertrains. All models will continue to find this 1.5-liter 4-cylinder engine under their hoods, and paired to either a 6-speed manual or a continuously variable transmission. The motor makes 130 horsepower with the manual, or 128 with the CVT. Like I mentioned, fuel economy is also a traditional strong suit for the Fit. The 3 trims that can get the manual are all rated at 29 city, 26 highway, 21 combined. The CVT models are rated at 31 city, 36 highway, 33 combined, on all but the LX, where it is somehow rated 3 mpg better at 33 city, 40 highway, 36 combined. The LX has no manual mode or paddles for its CVT, so maybe that's the reason. Nonetheless, that's it for the powertrain, so let's go ahead and check out the exterior enhancements. For the most part, the changes aren't dramatic, but several things have been reshaped to look a little more aggressive. The changes start with the grille, which now has these chrome flourishes on every trim level, and the rest is still made of black mesh. Integrating right in are the headlights, which are still halogens, but they now have these black accents across all trims. Dropping down to the lower grille is where you'll probably find the most distinct Sport upgrade, which is this orange splitter. I'm surprised, but I actually like it in person, and it does link in with the Sport's lower body kit. You also have fog lights on all but the base LX. Choosing the Sport also gets you the most dramatic wheels, fully blacked out 16-inch alloys. Of course, choosing the LX downgrades them to 15-inch steel wheels, and upgrading to the EX or EXL gets you 16-inch machine-finished alloys with black inserts. I believe those are carryover from last year. The brakes are tiny at 10.3 inches in the front and 7.9 inches in the rear, but that's expected from a tiny car. The rear ones are drums, by the way. There's nothing complicated about the mirrors. They are power and body colored on every trim, and the top of the line EXL adds heating and a turn signal. Lane watch comes on EX and higher. In profile, this is an odd looking car. It's shaped almost exactly like a wedge. And the hood, I haven't seen anything slope like that since the Prius. Looks notwithstanding, safety sees a big upgrade for 2018. The Honda Sensing Suite is now available on every trim, with it being standard on the top 2 trims. The active safety systems included within that are adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, and lane keep assist. I don't think any car in this class comes close to that level of equipment, besides maybe the Yaris, but its only active safety system is pre-collision braking. Around back, the Fit scores a few upgrades as well, but the biggest differences are on this Sport. This piece across the middle is black on the LX and Sport, and chrome on the EX and EXL. Like the headlights, the taillights also get black accents for a sportier look, and this one part is LED. Moving down, the lower bumper is also changed on every trim, but only the Sport gets a rear diffuser and a chrome exhaust. The Fit has a very tiny 10.2 gallon fuel tank, I assume to help with the great packaging on the inside. The fuel ranges are 364 on the top end to 316 on the low end. Obviously regular unleaded fuel. That does it for the outside, so now let's move on to the upgraded interior. Like the outside, the changes to the interior are not something you'll immediately notice, but they are there, particularly on the Sport. If you want a splash of color besides black, you're going to have to get this Sport, which comes with orange stitching on the seats and all around the cabin. Other than that, the EXL comes with black leather, and the LX and EX have black cloth. The door trim is made of decent materials, but for some reason the armrest portion is hard touch while it's soft cloth above it. Only the driver's window is automatic up and down. The seats are 6-way manual, and I'm not entirely sure, but I think you might get a power seat on the EXL. The cloth itself has a quality feel to it, and I like the Sport special design. The seats would be heated if you get an EXL. Even though the Fit's been around for a while, I had never personally been in one before. And I have to say, I'm impressed by how airy it feels in here. Also, nothing really looks cheap to my eye. The far up parts of the dash are hard touch, as I expected, but the middle parts are actually soft touch, rare in this class of vehicle. Everything else fits together well and feels solid. Once again, not givens in this class. You would get push button start on the EX trims, but we have a key. All models get a screen, but the Sport and Up get this larger 7-inch one. These simple gauges are carryover from last year's Fit, but the difference is that models with Honda Sensing get a 4.2-inch multifunction display instead. The steering is electric power on all Fits, but only the Sport and EXL get a leather-wrapped wheel. The orange stitching is Sport exclusive. These buttons control the center display, and these are for your standard cruise control. The wheel itself does tilt and telescope. Subcompacts are usually short on storage, but the Fit has a big dose of Honda's magic. You do have a center storage bin, which is surprisingly deep, and also has some connections. A lot of rivals don't even have armrests, so that's a big benefit. There's a couple spots here, and another large area up in the front. Above it you have a 12-volt outlet and higher voltage charging USBs. Coming back, here is your shifter for the CVT, with some more of that orange stitching. If you go all the way back to Sport, you can shift manually with these paddles. Of course, it is simulated since this is a CVT. When you shift into reverse, a surprisingly nice backup camera appears on all models. It actually has dynamic guidelines, something that's missing on much more expensive vehicles. There are also 3 angles to choose between, so I'm impressed overall. You do get a traditional handbrake. Coming to the climate, it's a very simple manual setup on all trims. You've got a center knob for fan speed, and outside ones for temperature and zones. And then there's this strangely mechanical toggle, but overall nothing confusing here. Now let's listen to the audio system. It's nothing to write home about, but it's better than I expected. Anyways, let's take a quick rundown of the Honda Link system. This is the home screen, and this year the volume knob has been brought back. Starting out in audio, we are currently connected via the standard Bluetooth, and can play, pause, and skip tracks straight from here. And here are all the other available sources. Next up is phone with all of your regular stuff. In Phone Book, you can find all of your contacts automatically synced over from your phone. The last thing I want to point out is that you now have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. They would appear here after you plug in a smartphone through the USB port. That's all I will cover in this video, but if you want a very detailed look at the entire system, then check out our dedicated tech help video. A link to that is in the description. Every trim gets this regular rearview mirror. We don't have it, but the EX and EXL both come with power moonroofs. Typically, interiors in this class are sparse, low-tech, and generally uncomfortable places to be, but this cabin doesn't feel that way. You can tell that Honda put thought into the way things are, and didn't just pursue the bottom line. The amount of space and visibility in here are amazing, and the features certainly seem worth the modest price. Now Mason will show off the innovative rear seats and cargo area.
The Fit is all about usability, and that starts with these doors that open really wide. The armrest is kind of soft, and there's padded cloth up here. The windows are also power. There's 39.3 inches of legroom in the back, and 37.5 inches of headroom. Compared to the Yaris, that's a full 6 inches more legroom, and about the same headroom. The seats are also pretty comfy. Of course, the back of the Fit is simplistic at this price point, with just a light, a good headliner, and an assist grip. There is no armrest, which is something that's pretty common for this class to delete. Space is definitely the Fit's strong suit, and that 6-inch increase over the Yaris is definitely felt. Even with it scooted all the way back, I have plenty of room. Honestly, it feels like a mid-size sedan. Overall, the Fit's rear seat is something that genuinely shocked me. The rest of this class normally boasts an absolutely horrendous back seat, and this one actually feels spacious and not too cost-cutting. Now that we've got out, let's take a look at Honda's cool Magic Seat. There is a button underneath the trunk lid to lift up the tailgate, but no power option. The cargo area is another place where the Fit shines. It has 16.6 cubic feet behind the second row, and 52.7 cubic feet with the seats folded. That's quite big for the class, and with the Magic seats, Honda makes the most out of that space. The passenger seat is manually adjusting across all Fit trims. The dash is a nice graining, and the glove box is good size. It's not dampened or felt lined though. Well guys, that concludes the first in-depth look at the refreshed 2018 Honda Fit Sport. A quick look at the pricing of all fits is coming up next. And if you enjoyed, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a positive comment below. See you next time.